Hi guys, my name's Craig. Welcome to Small Farmer Life. Well, I've had a busy day today. I've been running about all over the place. I've posted some fertile hatching eggs. I've been to get some feed. I've cleaned out the chickens. I'm just stressed out to the max. I want to get this video made for you guys because I'm relaxing on a night and my phone's pinging like crazy from messages from Instagram, messages from Facebook, and messages through my email, and it's all when I started this channel and I've been uploading videos, and the messages have just been growing and growing and growing and growing to the point where I'm literally spending my nights answering people's questions that they're sending me. Now, it's more or less about the same subject, and that is how you're going to get the right to live on a piece of agricultural land without actually starting a small farming business. Now, you can get the right to live on agricultural land without starting a small farming business, but you've got to go down the 4-year and 1-day route. Because if you try and put a planning application in to live on some agricultural land, well, you're just going to get knocked back straight away. You'll never get planning permission on agricultural land that's outside the development boundary of a town, especially just for one home. But you can go down the 4-year and 1-day route. Now, I have spoke about this in other videos, but people don't watch all of the videos I've actually made on the channel, which you should do. So if you're interested in starting a small farm, maybe you want to start a hobby farm, maybe you want to start a small farming business, maybe you want to start a small holding that you want to live on in the future, think about hitting the subscribe button if you do, and also go back and check out some of the videos I've already uploaded to the channel and hit the bell button for future videos. Now, what I want to talk about is how you're actually going to keep under the nose of the powers that be and go down the 4-year and 1-day rule. Now, the 4-year and 1-day rule itself is an actual right of lawfulness, and it's just what you would put in on a planning application when you've been living somewhere for 4 years and 1 day without an actual planning application being passed on that property. Now, it could be a barn, it could be a set of stables, or it could be a large wooden shed or something like that, or it could even be a shipping container. But it's got to have a concrete foundation, it's got to be fixed to the ground. If it's a caravan or anything that's movable, then it takes 10 years and 1 day to actually get the right of lawfulness. Now, I understand there's a lot of people out there who just want to start a hobby farm or a small holding and don't want to pass the functionality test and the viability test and the financial test that the council will make you actually pass to give you the right to live on a piece of land, and then they want to actually make you live in a caravan for 3 years to prove that your farming venture is viable. And living in a caravan is freezing cold through the winter times and that sort of thing. Now, you can make a set of stables a really comfortable place to live, and you can also section off part of a barn and make it into a lovely little bungalow. That's what my mates look like. All he did was add a 40 by 30 foot barn, and one side of the barn, so 15 foot wide, 40 foot long, he built a breeze block wall. It wasn't as high as the actual barn itself, it was just about 2.5 meters high. Then he put a flat roof on it, but the outside wall actually was the outside wall of the building he was living in. Now, what you can't do is build a building inside of a barn. If you do that, then you're actually hiding the building. So you have to connect what you're living in to the outside wall of the barn itself. So when you looked inside of his roller shutter door, which was on the opposite side of where he was actually living, you just seen farming tools and that sort of thing. It just looked like a normal barn you would see on a farm. But when you went in the door, turned left and went through a security door, well, it looked like a real house that you would see on any other estate. It was actually amazing how he done it, but pretty simple. You just put up a breeze block wall with a flat roof on top of it, and on top of the roof was just storage space for lots of other things. Now, people do this with stables, and they do it in woodlands and that sort of thing all over the UK, and there's thousands and thousands of people doing it. That's why they have the right of lawfulness on the actual planning application. So you can actually put in a planning application after 4 years and 1 day for the right of lawfulness. But to get away with it, that's the key. Now, you shouldn't be picking a piece of agricultural land that's got lots of houses around it and then try and move on that piece of agricultural land with a full family. Maybe you've got 5 kids and they're running all over the place at all times of the day and night. But let's say you move on a piece of agricultural land or you purchase a piece of agricultural land. Don't put a big 30-foot long caravan on there that's bright white or something like that. That sticks out like a sore thumb and it's already a ready-built home. But if you build a barn on that piece of land, then people see them all the time on agricultural land. If you build some stables on that piece of agricultural land and you get planning permission for these buildings, people see those types of buildings all the time. And these buildings, like I say, are easy to convert into livable, habitable buildings. Now, they don't have to go down the route of being certified by building regulations, so you don't have to worry about that. That only comes into play when you're building an actual home. Now, if you're a single person who just wants to get out the rat race, or a couple who just wants to leave the rat race behind and actually live on a piece of agricultural land, well, this is an easy thing to do. It really is. And if you do buy a piece of agricultural land, just put in for a planning application for a barn to store something like agricultural implements in there, maybe a tractor, maybe some hay and that sort of thing. It'll get passed like that. Then, if you don't want to have a barn, go for a set of stables for some horses. They'll get passed straight away. And they don't stick out like a sore thumb. But when you're building them, and maybe when they're built, condition anybody that's in the local area that you're going to be coming and going at all hours of the day. So you're conditioning the actual locals that you're coming and going all hours of the day, every single day of the week, and sometimes leave a vehicle at the farm. And then if they're going to actually pick up the phone, they'll probably do it in the first 6 months. And then when the council comes out, well, nothing's going on in the barn or the stables. And if the councillors don't come out, well, you just crack on. And if the councillors do come out, well, you're not doing anything anyway. And then that's when you start actually implementing, moving in the actual barn or the stables. And then you just keep all the letters that you get delivered to the stables or the barn. Now, people think you've got to be registered to actually get mail delivered in the UK, which you do if you're worried about a credit file. But most of you guys are wanting to get away from any debt that you might owe, or you just don't want any debt anyway, so you're trying to get away from debt. So you're not bothered about a credit file. All you're bothered about is getting your electricity bills, your water bills, and any other parcels that you might be getting delivered to that property. And as long as the street or the road that the actual farm entrance is on as a postcode, then any parcels will get here, because deliveries and Royal Mail work off postcodes. So they're not bothered about what the council register with them. Post yourself a letter and find out, put yourself a small sign at the entrance to your farm, and then they'll send out a little postal van to actually do the local area anyway. And the postal van and the man or woman who's driving the postal van will find your small farm, drive up the farm track, ask you your name, and then read the name on the actual envelope and just give you the envelope, because they're not going to grass you up neither. So you don't have to worry about things like that. I know several people who've went through this. A couple of them went through the 4-year and 1 day rule, and one of them just didn't care less and hasn't even put in for the right of lawfulness, but he's in a valley well out the way of other people. But everyone in the valley has done exactly the same thing. And my friend who went through the 10-year and 1 day rule is in the same valley. So not one person in this little valley, and there's about 10 families that live in this valley, have put in for planning permission at all. So there's lots of places in the UK that you can get away with a 4-year and 1 day rule without going down the old farm and business route and the functionality test and the viability tests and all of that sort of thing. And if you do get caught, what have you got to lose? You've got nothing to lose. You've lived somewhere, literally, and you've still got the land, you've still got the investment, you've put property on it, so you've put a farm building on there, you've put electricity and you've put water on, you've increased the value of the land anyway. So if you did get caught, well, just fight them then, and then go down that route. But if you wanted to actually get planning permission to live on a piece of agricultural land, believe me, you will pay tens of thousands of pounds in consultant fees, planning application fees, and then you'd be paying appeal fees and all sorts of fees to solicitors and that sort of thing. So just, if you're thinking about living on a piece of agricultural land, think about hiding away for 4 years and 1 day. Like I say, it's not against the law to do it. It does have a right of lawfulness planning application that you can put in to the council for the right of lawfulness. All the people in the area will find out right then and there that you've been there for 4 years and 1 day, and they might not talk to you afterwards, but the council will want the backdated council tax off you. But you could put that away in some type of savings account for when the day comes that the actual council grant you planning permission to live on the land, and then say, we do need the backdated council tax from you, because there's one thing we can't get away from in this world, and that's death and taxes. Now, if you've got any comments about this, leave them in the comment section, and I'll do my best to actually answer them comments, or any questions you might have, leave them down in the comment section, because I do always check the comments on the YouTube channel and leave the night times to myself so I can enjoy them in the peace and quiet without being disturbed. So until next time, guys, my name's Craig. You've been watching A Small Farmer Life. If you like the video, hit the like button. If you want to subscribe to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you want to be notified of more Come Farm videos or anything else, then hit the bell button. Make sure you take care of yourself, guys. Most of all, take care of the family. Bye for now. See ya.